here in YouTube land, and your first reaction is, Mark, you look like a pumpkin. I know this, but it's a very cool shirt from the Boondocks Yadkin Slam tournament, safety orange, which I think was a great idea, and I've got a stocking cap on because to me it's still cold, which will mean it'll still be cold until about June because it's been a brutally cold spring. But we're not here to talk about the weather. We're here to follow up on my Yadkin Slam and the education of Mark Patterson in the KBF bass tournament world. And I must say it was an education. Number one, first off, those guys are really, really good in the KBF. Really good. Number two, the Yadkin Slam was a huge success. Big shout out to Tim Parks, who did an amazing job organizing, getting sponsors. He and Dave Allen did an incredible job. Tim did an amazing job emceeing the event, running the raffles, helping score fish. It's a ton of work. I know this. He did a great job. Big shout out to Boondocks. Also want to thank Ed Parrish and Nathan Wiles. They did a great job of helping them score. I ran my mouth and ran around trying to help keep things moving in the right direction on a minimal roll, which was nice for me. Also want to thank Henry and Wayne with CKA. They did a great job of helping Tim learn the rules and the ropes of managing a bass tournament and the KBF. So, with those thanks out of the way, let me quickly as I can before you click off and start watching cat videos, tell you about my KBF Yadkin Slam experience. I had a good plan going in, and sometimes plans don't work out, but here's what happened. So my plan was Friday night, because the Yadkin Slam consists of a catfish, a crappie, and a largemouth. You can fish for catfish on Friday night. So my plan was to go ahead and get the catfish out of the way. And then I would only have to fish for crappie and bass. My plan was to start off first thing in the morning, bass fish on Saturday morning, hopefully get my 5 bass by 1 o'clock, and then head to a dock and catch a small crappie for the Yadkin Slam. That way I complete the slam on the Yadkin slide and my on the side, and the KBF side get the 5 bass over there. So here's what actually happened. Friday night, did not catch a catfish. Had 2 bites all night. Neither one of them held on. I knew I was in trouble when everybody else was fishing close to the bank and I'm hanging out in the middle by myself. When that happens, you have one of 2 things that's going to happen. One, you're going to be the only guy catching fish, or you're going to be the only guy not catching fish. I was the second. I went for broke, figured there'd be some big flatheads moving out of the deeper water up into the shallows. I knew I wouldn't be able to stay late because it was too cold, and I had to drive back home to get back up to fish KBF and the slam the next day. So, rolled the dice, didn't work, but I figured I'd go to plan B. My backup plan was to catch a little brim or something, a little brim when I was crappie fishing around the docks, and then put that guy out for bait on the bottom for the catfish on the second day. That's where we got into a problem. And if you're a KBF guy, you already know what I did wrong. So if not, learn from me. Don't do this yourself. So when you have 2 tournaments going on like that, you have to know both sets of rules. I've been a tournament director now for 10 years, fish tournaments for about 12. This is completely my fault. Step up, accept responsibility, learn the next time. So here's what I did. Saturday morning, again, I needed all 3 for the Yadkin Slam and the 5 bass for the KBF. On Saturday morning, I get up. It was really foggy. I guess that was fog or some type of mist that was on the water. It was cold. The water was warmer. Clear. You couldn't see more than probably 100 yards. So I didn't want to go up into the creeks like my plan was for the bass that early on the first day, just on Saturdays, because there's a lot of boats out there and didn't want to get run over by a boat. So I just scooted around the shore, came to a couple of docks, went ahead and said, I'll go ahead and catch my crappie till this burns off. Well, when the crappie started biting, I'm catching them, 8 or 10, 12 inches, and I caught a brim. And I was like, great, I'll go ahead and hook this brim up, throw him out, put the rod in the rod holder, keep catching crappie around the docks. So now, if you know the KBF rules, you know the mistake I just made. So anyway, I'm fishing crappie. Finally catch a 13-inch crappie. I'm like, great, this is big enough. Get my brim in, let him go, head up, start bass fishing. Get all my bass. They weren't big anyway, like 3 right around 13 3/4 or 14, right in that range. 1 15 and one right below 17. So I wasn't going to be in the higher in the money anyway. And big shout out to Shelly Eford, who won the event. Great guy, great representation of what a kayak bass angler or just a good guy is supposed to be. Mild-mannered, quiet, goes out, handles his business. He won. He deserved it. Congratulations to Shelly. And thanks for helping me be a little bit better bass angler. I would have never caught those 5 without Shelly giving me some tips early in the week. So, again, big shout out to Shelly. So, anyway, about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I run to the dock, catch 2 more. Well, I catch about 2 or 3 brim. Put those down on rods. Go out, start drifting out in the middle of the channel trying to catch my catfish to complete the Yadkin Slam, because I need, again, catfish, crappie, bass. I got the bass, I got the crappie, now I need the catfish. Well, then it hit me. Wait a minute, I'm fishing both events. KBF rule says no live bait. I got live bait. Even though I'm not bass fishing with it, I do have live bait. I don't want there to be any issues. You just go and say, you know what, tournament director, Tim Parks, this is what I did. I think this is unacceptable. He's like, yeah, you can't have live bait for KBF in the boat at all. So, I don't even show my pictures, don't score the fish, because number 1, I violated 2 rules. I fished with 2 rods, and I had live bait in the boat. So, hey, learn from my mistakes. Don't do that. Know the rules. Be aware of the rules and follow all the rules. No problem. So big shout out to Tim Parks for stepping up and saying, nope, you can't do that. You got to DQ yourself, which I did. And that's the end of the story. So anyway, it was a great event. They raised a lot of money for the Foundation Fighting Blindness on the Yadkin Slam side. Congratulations to all the guys in the KBF who competed as well as they did with one another, and again, they're excellent anglers. I will be doing this again. I'll be not doing what I'm not supposed to be doing, so I can try to score my fish. It's tough. Those guys are great. And again, big shout out to everybody who supports the NCKFA and kayak fishing events across the USA. Thanks so much. Next tournament, IFA next weekend. See you later.